Hello, Steel Cage Wrestling fans. My name is Tim Wawanakwa, and I want to welcome you to the first ever episode of TimTalks. Tonight, I'm with the man of the hour, the big man in Steel Cage Wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to give it up to Red Skull.
How we doing, guys? Nice intro. I like it. I like the clapping. I appreciate it.
And the clapping is actually done by one of the four men. It's in the SCW Interstar Fatal 4-Way match, Joe Bullingham.
Thank you. I know there's a massive crowd in this tiny little room I'm in.
Now, Joe actually came in to replace Ghoul. Ghoul was supposed to be here, but unfortunately, I think he got attacked or something. Yeah, we'll go with that. One of his crutches broke, or someone attacked him again.
Yeah, something happened. I'm sure we'll
check on the cameras. All right.
Yeah,
but the first thing I want to ask, of course, Red Skull.
Yeah.
2nd of July, Unmistaken.
Yes.
8 matches, 4 championships, 1 match. We have no idea what one of those matches is going to be.
Yeah, obviously, like I said, we hoped that Ghoul would be with us. But yeah, 8 cards, 4 championships. It's a stacked card. It's just so good. Like, I'm really excited. I haven't been this excited for like a fight in a while. Obviously, I'm excited for the Mayhem shows and the Havoc shows, the King of the Ring and everything else, all the live events. But this has a good feel to it, you know. Especially after the Kurt Winters and Big Gus fight. Like, it gives me that extra excitement to see championships. And with the addition of the Interstar Championship, obviously Joe's fighting in that. I think it's going to be interesting to see how these guys do, because it's quite a balanced 4 that we have in that match.
Yeah, speaking of course, Big Gus and Kurt Winters, 2 of the 4 men representing Mayhem. We also have Flair and Paul Payne. Why was the choices of those 4 men?
The thing is, I think obviously we saw at the end of Mayhem after the fight between Kurt and Gus, the handshake, and there's a lot of respect between those 2. So I think it was important to highlight that. And whilst I do want to see that happen again, 100%, obviously there's other people in line for the Mayhem title, so I can't force that. And I think that these 2 will work well together. Paul Payne is an absolute tank, as we know. I mean, Joe, you lifted him up, which surprised everyone. And I'm sure your back's still hurting now, yeah?
Mate, I'm on paracetamol, man. Honestly.
So we got Flair obviously represents Flair was on comms at Steel Mania with me and Golf. And he represents the brand well, and he wanted to fight at Unmistaken, and he has been overshadowed in the last couple of weeks, you could say. So yeah, it's good to stick him in the card, and I think that obviously I don't think there's 3 tanks at Havoc, right? So I feel like putting one guy in there who's just not he's still a big guy, don't get me wrong. You wouldn't want to go in the ring with him. He's still a tank. I like Flair. I'm impressed by him, but I wouldn't say that he's as big as the other 3, right? So at least there's a bit of a balance, so it gives Havoc a little bit of a chance. Obviously Mayhem's going to go away with the W, we know this, but yeah,
absolutely, yeah. I will say this: if you are Ghoul, who do you throw in against just a heavy amount of power there? Do you throw in guys? Oh, sorry. Do you throw in guys like DJ Assassin, Jaden Lyons?
Yeah.
Do you maybe fall back on maybe like use power against power and have someone like Crusher Clive? Maybe we've not seen him.
Crusher Clive's going to be there. I know that Ghoul's going to pick Clive. Obviously, in an ideal world, Jake, but Jake's not available. Obviously, Barend as well, not available. So there's a few people that he's already lost. Do you know what I mean? Storm Society. So yeah, Crusher Clive, obviously, because that has to happen. Clive needs to be a pay-per-view. We love Clive, and I think that obviously makes sense having him in a ring. Obviously, we're going to have to reinforce that ring. 8 people, 5. It's going to be like 10 people, but
absolutely.
DJ, I don't know if DJ is a good representation of Havoc. Like, I know that he's good and he's a good Havoc guy, but I feel like he's an all-rounder DJ. He doesn't really represent one brand. Whereas Jaden, I would probably put Jaden in it. Or then maybe throw a couple new guys in. Like, he signed a few people, Ghoul, so throw a few new people in and see how they do.
Maybe even throw in Reed LaHava, maybe?
Jay, why did I not think of Jay? Jay hasn't got a match, so yeah, probably throw in Jay. But like as you said earlier, Ghoul obviously still has match 3. which he hasn't picked, and that can be anything he wants.
I would love to see something like, I would say the Havoc Championship, like you said, Baron, obviously in the main event. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But if you're Ghoul, you kind of want to put something that's going to entertain the fans. Obviously, you've done the exact same with, I'm going to say match 4 or match 1, I cannot remember. But speaking of match 4, Shane Roberts and Mark the Ref. Want to tell me a little bit about that? Because as a normal fan, as someone that's watched from day dot,
yeah,
I know what's happening, but we haven't seen any sort of hype. Can you kind of just like bring back the hype a little?
Yeah, of course. Well, I'll run it down. So obviously, Shane lost the match. I actually cannot remember who it was against as bad. I believe it was Ray from the Bullet Club, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, he lost the match and he decided to take it out on the referee, which in all my years, I've seen some people get crazy at referees, but I've never seen someone actually uppercut a ref. Do you know what I mean? Just for a free count, right? It wasn't like he lost for DQ. It wasn't like he lost with unfair injustice. He literally got pinned, right? So you have to accept that. Obviously, Mark the Ref is a very known guy. He's been in WWE. He's been at ECW back in the WCW days.
I actually spoke to Mark backstage, and I was just like, I got a little bit of a word. What actually happened? Like, you've been the brunt of everyone's attack, and he's just because you also look at last week. I think he kind of enjoyed it. He got manhandled by, I believe it was Jazz.
Yeah, he did have a smile on his face afterwards. He wasn't salty about that one for sure. But no, like I said, he's known. He has a lot of connections, and 2 connections. One is his brother, Eugene. Everyone knows Eugene from the old WWE days, sorry. And he also has a connection that he's been training with, the legend, the animal, Batista. So when people think he's just a referee, he's not just a referee. He used to be, but he is now ready to bring. And I think the late GM has turned up.
Yep. Sorry.
I don't know if the line is sounded.
I had to deal with shit right. Hello.
But yeah, where was I quickly? So obviously he's been working with Batista. He's been working with Eugene, and he's ready for Shane. He's 100% ready for Shane. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to be crazy, to be honest. There will be a lot more hype on that match. Obviously, it's been overshadowed, like you said. There's so much going on, and I think like I put so much into Big Gus and Kurt, which I should have done, obviously, because that match was insane. But yeah, I feel like there's a lot of hype, but there's a lot of hype for a lot of matches, and it needs to be done. And speaking, obviously, the man is now here. There are 4 people from the Havoc side that we need in the Mayhem vs Havoc tag team.
Of course, if you didn't hear him, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Hardcore Messiah Ghoul.
Yep.
Havoc General Manager, of course. First thing I want to ask, obviously, just right on the hot seat, who are your picks for this 8-man Mayhem Havoc tag team match? Obviously, me and Red Skull, we threw in a couple of names: Reed LaHava, Jay O'Grady, DJ Assassin, Crusher Clive, yeah.
Honestly, I'm biased, and obviously it's probably going to be a Havoc boy. If Clive's involved, as long as like someone else isn't like of his sheer size hasn't done it, it will probably be Clive just dominating for Havoc.
Of course, Crusher Clive, a heavy man. I don't think the guy has lost.
Nope.
No. He was going to go into he was in round 2 for King of the Ring against Jake, and it was going to be a undefeated versus undefeated, which was going to be crazy, but I think Baron Urena got in the way of that.
Yeah, of course, winning the Havoc Championship. To ask, obviously, match 3, it's your choice, Ghoul. Who are you going to put in this random match? Are we going to see the Havoc Championship be defended on the pay-per-view, or are we going to see something completely random?
The issue with having the Havoc Championship defended is Baron would have to fight 2 fights on the night, which I don't think he would want to do. Obviously, I do have plans for him to go up on a title match against the still #1 contender Jaden Lyons, but for now, I'm going to keep everything under wraps until next week's Havoc. So if you want to find out, just wait.
There we go. I like it.
Seems we're going to have to wait. Now, I'm going to go on to the tag team title match. This is a little bit of a random match. We have the British and Aussie connection, LC,
Obviously.
and Jake the Beast Great, to take on the Storm Society. Now, I need a little bit of insight. Who actually is the Storm Society? Because I have no idea
It's
who these
just
guys are.
everyone. If I remember correctly, Alex Austin and Storm Nolan. Obviously, it's Alex and Austin Storm.
So it'll be Alex and Austin, I think, in the for the Storm Society.
Yep.
But yeah, I believe it all started just because there were so many people with the last name Storm.
That was a complete coincidence, by the way. Might I add?
Oh, was it actually?
Yep, complete coincidence. I was just choosing people, and I just all conveniently ended up being called Storm. So
this is kind of just like a thrown together tag team. So we got.
I didn't throw them together, to be fair. It wasn't me who threw them together. They threw themselves together, and I respect it, to be fair.
Oh, so they actually threw each other. That is nuts, honestly. Like, I respect that. Do I want to see them win the titles? I kind of do not. I think that's
but obviously they're going to have to beat the British Aussie connection, who seem like they could be an electric tag team if they can get their morals together.
Yeah, they need to work well together.
I'm obviously getting shushed there.
No, I'm not talking to you.
I know. You're a busy man, Ghoul.
Yeah, you got multiple connections. You got women lining up at your front door. Come on, man. We get you. Go on, go take 5.
No, it's grand. I've already took about 30 minutes anyway. So I don't have an excuse.
All right. We're moving on to the next match card.
Now we kind of glossed over this, and I want to kind of just sit down more with Red Skull on this one, and just what is the whole point? What is a death of the deeds match between yourself and Bishop of Brad Bishop?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that question had to be asked at some point, right? So yeah, like I said, obviously before the podcast started, me and you in the office, we brushed past a few things, opened up about a few things, but there's always been this sort of ownership battle, I suppose, between me and Brad. Brad and Kirst, I suppose, back in the day. But yeah, when this federation relaunched, I put all of my eggs in one basket. Really, I went. I got people that I don't know if you guys heard, but Brad Bishop called replaceable. All right, I got a roster full of loads of people. I got them all together. Incredible names, right? People that you just couldn't imagine not seeing wrestle now, right? People I put on the map, and he, disregarded all of that. And the work ethic that he has is just so poor. And like I said, that's why at first I gave the opportunity to Ghoul instead of Brad to be GM, because at least Ghoul is actually active and talks to people on the Discord and does everything like that. So that was like the first issues. I think that was when problems started brewing. He said, I still own half of this company legally. And there's a shady background. All right. There was a few years where I was struggling. I was on my knees. Okay. Cheese lost all of his cheese. And unfortunately he was on his knees.
I wouldn't word it like that.
Well, I'm not going to get, like I'm saying, I'm not going to get into it on this podcast too much. There was issues.
No, I mean, you shouldn't word it as in I was on my knees.
Okay, look, I was struggling, right? I was like Vince McMahon will be in a couple months. Okay, I didn't have much left, so I was trying to make a way. And back then, there was a few things that me and Brad done that we're not proud of. Okay, so I suppose that we both have dirt on each other, so we didn't want to really take it the legal route. The only way that we could make this happen is we got inspired by how ridiculous wrestling has always dealt with real life issues, and we're going to do a death for the deed. So one of us will get the deed on top of that ladder, and one of us will go on and run and be owner of this. And then yeah, of course.
See, if Brad wins, I walk. I'm not going on the company where he believes everyone's truly replaceable. Now, whatever that tyrant king, so-called king, Trevor Dennis says, I was not being pressured. He said that in a completely calm moment. If you trust a man who thinks you're all replaceable, Well, you should trust us who think you're stars.
There we go. Well, like I said, yeah, that's not like Ghoul. I thought after a few times on comms, me and you would have got on a little bit more for you to think there was a possibility of Brad walking out with that contract. He's not going to win. There's no chance in hell that's going to happen. Okay, Brad's never pinned me. He's never made me tap. He's never beat me in ring. No, I've never beat him either. We've never gone 1-on-1. But come on, a guy in a pink costume against Skull, the one and only. Do you really think there's a possibility that he'll win?
I mean,
You never know in wrestling.
Yeah, fair enough. And it is a ladder. Like you said, yeah, there is a ladder. So there is opportunity there. But like I said, people are going to have to already hold you back. People are going to have to hold Flair back. You think people aren't going to interrupt in this match? You think it's just going to be me and Brad? People are going to come in. People are going to climb through the barriers. There are going to be security from the left to the right trying to stop people coming after Brad because no one wants me. No one wants this smoke. No one's coming after me, but people want Brad.
Yeah, I said that I would trip him up.
Said. You couldn't say that any better.
Thank you.
Persona to upper staff.
But yeah, that's going to be dealt with and it will be over. The second it's over, Brad will not insult any staff members anymore. He will not try and do any bishop brigades. He will make everyone coffee. He will make everyone tea, your protein shakes, and your dinner. That's what he will do.
Can I ask one clause?
Of course.
I have to go on a date with his wife.
There we go. We'll be seeing Bishop obviously tomorrow at
Queen of the Ring, you should say. But I should also speak about this, right? See if Brad somehow, and I mean like somehow, if God personally intervenes and strikes Cheese down and wins this ladder, you could say we always have a plan to fall back on.
Yeah, obviously there's always a fall back plan, never to worry. But like I said, look, think about whatever happens, you'll always see Cheese, all right? And at the end of the day, the only thing I really want from this match is to seriously, I don't even want to say hurt, because hurt's a pathetic word. Hurt's not even going to amount to what I want to do to this guy. When I put death on the D's, was I joking? I want to throw him off a ladder and I want to miss my spot. I'm going to say this right here, live on the podcast. I want to miss. I don't want him to fall on the mat. I want him to fall straight on the barricade on his neck. I want him to snap it. I want Beth to feed him juice pouches for the rest of his life through a straw so he can't chew.
Jesus Christ.
Whilst I'm in the background making a cup of tea.
So what we've just heard there is Red Skull wants to just... He doesn't want to hurt Brad Bishop. He wants to murder him. I honestly respect that. I've spoken to Brad Bishop. He seems like a bit of just a bit of a nutcase. I do not like him at
It's a joke to him. Nothing serious. Eh? It's a joke to Brad.
Joke's on him. He asked me for a coffee. I spat in it. But we're gonna
love it. Love that.
I like that.
We're gonna move on to the next match. And this is what I want to talk about. We have the women's championship match, but we do not have a contender.
I believe Casey should be in the contender since she was the one that beat Fowl's streak.
Well, that was the plan originally. Of what happened last week. Yeah. Because you have a 10-man rumble after Brew, and I'm not going to lie. I'm impartial to a rumble, okay? I love a good rumble. It's enjoyable. So I want 10 women at the rumble. And Casey, as you said, she did beat Val. So she will be in at number 10 in this rumble. But yeah, whoever wins the rumble going up against Val at Unmistaken. And obviously Val's sister will not be in the rumble either.
Because she's
She's
unique.
Right,
and we got some matches. Obviously, Jazz attacked Val during her introducing her sister. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, Val was undefeated. We lost the match now, but it's going to be interesting to see if that affects her mentally, if she's going to pick herself up straight away.
I don't believe it.
You don't think she will?
I don't believe she's going to affect her mentally, I should say.
No, she's been UFC. She's still fighting. She's a free woman. Not on contract here. She's just a free agent. We use her a lot. And UFC user. She fights everywhere, really. I mean, she's a very, she's just crazy. She's crazy. She's not someone we want to lose, though. 100%.
Yeah, of course. You look at some of the women that you also have, like some of them look dominant. Obviously, we're gonna have, obviously, like you said, if it's gonna be a 10-woman battle Royal Rumble style match, we've already seen some on the God, what is the show called? After
Yeah.
Yes.
we saw the Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah, there was a battle royale. Yeah.
We've seen girls like Alexa Rose Extreme.
Yeah.
You can't forget the new free agent that's coming to town. I've only heard about this briefly, right? But I've looked up some of her tapes. Her name's Luna Moon. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't that the one who thinks she's a sun god or something? Like the moon god?
I have no idea. But we're going to move on to the next match. And it's quite funny that we have one of the 4 guys in this Interstar match. I want to get hard and heavy details from yourself, Joe. How do you feel about being in the first Interstar? Like, you were the first guy in the World Champion match, and you're also, I think, the only man to have been in the Interstar and World title crownings. So tell me a little bit about how you feel in this, how you see guys like Storm Nolan, Zach Adams, A-List, and
Owen.
do you think you're going to walk out with the Interstar Championship?
Well, I know from my history. Okay, my record isn't perfect. Let's be perfectly honest. 3 wins under my belt in the past month or so. I lost against Ray in a ladder match for the Mayhem #1 contender spot. I also ended up losing in the chamber in the early days as well. But the only reason I'm still here fighting is because of those fans that line up in attendance each and every week. They come here, they love wrestling. They want to see people take falls off ceilings like Big Gusty. They want people like me to overcome all the odds. And Paul Payne Black vs. Soul is an amazing back and forth match. But trust me, it was amazing just to feel. I'm glad I'm even in the match. That's how proud I am of myself, and I'm proud to have the fans on my back. If worse things come to worse, and I don't win, and I don't see myself not winning because I'm all in. My cards are on the table. They're all showing that the showstopper is going to walk out of Unmistaken, first ever Interstar champion.
Bold words there. Now, if you have a look at your 3 opponents, Zach Adams, I'm pretty sure he qualified, like yourself, in a match on Havoc. Storm Nolan and A-List Owen, I'm pretty sure they qualified for being 2nd and 3rd in this 6-man Havoc championship match.
That is true.
Yeah.
And one thing that I want to ask is, if you don't win, who do you think's going to win, Joe? It's obviously not yourself. Who's going to be your biggest threat in the match?
Well, like I said, I've done some research into every one of these, as one does. Zach Adams comes from a UFC background. He's amazing technical groundwork.
Yeah, Zach is good.
Storm Nolan, I haven't seen much of him, but what I've heard, incredible. His high-flying abilities, as well as his brutal punches and kicks. It's amazing. Now, A-List is a bit of a unknown to me. So
Won the Rumble, remember? The first
he did
Rumble.
win the Rumble. He did win the Rumble, which is fair.
That had me and Brad in it.
Yeah,
I mean,
but like I said, when it all comes down to it, I'm gonna give it a mile, and that's that. But if I were to choose one, I would say Zach Adams. He's been showing great. He didn't just come into this company and just stay stale over time, slowly going up the card. No, he's immediately in the hot shot. You know why that is? because it's a hard worker like myself.
And it's because he fights. And it's because he fights the mayhem, not having.
Yeah, anytime, any place he'll have a fight, he doesn't mind. Like, you can go to him right now, I want to fight you in the backstage. He's like, alright, let me put the boots on, let's go. But yeah. So, if it's somehow not me, that...
Okay.
Any more questions?
Honestly, I think we're fine with that. I do apologize about the sudden silence there.
You're
That's
yeah,
okay.
I know what happened. I know what happened. Your assistant was running down a coffee, and you just need to tell her next time. Could you speed it up, please?
No, I was getting a phone call from a friend of mine, and I didn't want to disturb, obviously, what you were saying. But
Yeah.
let's talk about the main event: SCW champion Ultimate Ace against a man that do we say is familiar with? Because you gotta. These two have had, I'm gonna say, light history. Of course, the last two men in the Elimination Chamber, Baron actually won the Fatal 4-Way match for A-List Owen's #1 contender match. Let's talk about both of these guys. First and foremost, Ultimate Ace, day in, day out, every week has been on the cards for Mayhem.
Yeah, he's probably one of the main guys, obviously. It was nice to have him. I mean, he is technically like in a show. He can be on either show, I suppose, because he's champion. But yeah, like I said, he won the match, and you cannot look. You know, you can say he hasn't defended, but he did win an elimination chamber, and it was against 5 strong opponents, right? So
Yeah, of course,
he
one
won
of them
that.
being Joe.
Yeah, and then obviously he lost his match after that. But that was in a Hell in a Cell tag team match. So obviously, like you say, you know, I mean, it was Jaden Lyons, and I'm not going to lie, it was Taylor Loomis, who is a lawyer. But you know, we'll look past that. And then obviously he called someone out of the after brawl, and they actually ended up beating Ace as well in their first match. I'm not 100% who that was. I'm not going to lie. I think it was Hayden Cross, if I remember correctly. But there's a few new guys, so I may get confused. But he had a match against Mike, one of his friends, Mike Mean, who we'll be seeing in a tag team this week. But yeah, he had a match with him and Mayhem, and they destroyed. And even though they were friends, they destroyed each other, put each other through tables. There was chairs, there was everything in that match. But he won that match, and obviously, I think he's going to be feeling more positive going into Unmistaken. As for Barend, he's not on my roster. You know, he's more of Ghoul's aspect, I suppose. But I've seen him fight before, and obviously I was there on comms when he won at Havoc. And like I said, I've always been interested in the guy since I saw him in the first match, to be fair. And I feel like there's definitely something lingering in him. There was a reason he didn't let Ghoul finish. There was a reason he kept attacking. I don't know whether he's a bit, you know, sort of like Damian Priest, shall we say. You know, he's got this side to him that he just can't control sometimes. I'm not sure. But it's going to be interesting to see him one-on-one against Ultimate Ace, definitely.
Of course, I want a little bit from Ghoul himself. Who do you think is going to win? Do you think this is going to be a win for Havoc and having Baron to bring the World Championship to Havoc? Or do you think that Ace is going to retain?
You know, it's a bit too hard to call, you know. Both are obviously incredible fighters. And, like, you can't really say because it just depends who's the best on the day, on the night, I should say. And that's really it to it. Because I don't want to show bias, because obviously that could cause issues with fighter relations, which I don't want.
Yeah, especially in this brand. There's a lot of issues in this industry. People get angry very quickly.
Yep. And like I said, every single competitor on that card needs to go out there and not just perform for themselves, but to pay back the trust management have given them, as well as the fans that have stuck through. Like, I'm all about, I don't call me the showstopper for a reason. I want to please people. How do you think I got through Platinum Full Pain? The fans carried me, empowered me, made me into a version of myself that nobody has ever seen before, not even myself.
Yes, yeah, it's going to be obviously. I feel like everyone's on it. I feel like it's going to be a crazy pay-per-view. Probably one of the best that will. Well, not one of the best we'll have. Obviously, the next one after that is Secure the Cage, which everyone loves those sort of events. So it's an exciting time ahead for sure.
Yeah, of course, 8 matches, 4 championships. I want to ask one
And
question.
company on the link.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, like Brad Bishop just looks like a pushover as it is. If Red Skull loses, I will say this right now: like if you lose to Brad Bishop, Red Skull, then you deserve to not be in this company.
Yeah, I think that. I respect your honesty, and I'll shake your hand. Fair play. That is true. And like I said, there are, I can't lie. There are paranoias. There are times where I think, could something happen? Could someone jump in and then he can get up that ladder quickly? Is there an opportunity for him to do this? If it was pinfall, I wouldn't worry at all. If it was pinfall, easy. But there are obviously issues. But I trust in my main man, Ghoul. I trust in Flair. And I don't think that's going to happen. And if I need to pull out some stops and dirty tricks, Cheese will. All right. You may see a heel version of me. Who knows? I will always try and be the nice, humble man. But if you awaken something inside of me, that's your choice. And he's pushing my buttons. Should he have shook my hand at Mayhem, this would have all been over.
Yeah, of course. A lot of people saying the little weasel that could, if he does win. A little bit of interference in the background. Well, I'm sure we'll get security on that.
You got one of these fans all over the place. Like, come on, SCW is one of the best televised shows in UK history. What do you expect?
Yeah, of course.
Go on then.
Nice. Well, I mean, let's talk. I'll switch the roads a little bit quickly. Tim, obviously, we had you at King of the Ring. Offered you now a full-time employment here at Steel Cage Wrestling. So this is your podcast, and it's going to be going on. You want to have it every week on a Saturday?
Yeah, every Saturday. I don't know what time. It'll roughly be between 12 and about 4. United Kingdom Standard Time, of course.
Yeah, but we'll say we'll have it up on YouTube for 4 p.m. every Saturday around about. We'll do our best.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, you'll be seeing a lot more chats like this, a lot more chats with me and Ghoul sometimes, who will be, the other side. Obviously, the podcast we have on Tuesday, we're normally asking the questions, so we're answering questions here, which is quite nice. See stars like Joe and other stars, who are going up to the gold. And yeah, sort of a way to just sort of get, because the podcasts on Tuesday are always quite hectic. People going in at each other, really. And it's fun. I like it, but it's nice to have this more sat down, out vibe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One final question before, obviously, we end this podcast. What's the future looking for Steel Cage Wrestling?
I like that.
As a whole.
Upwards.
Well, I'm going to answer it. I'm going to answer it in a way that I'm going to answer it in the aspect that I win on Saturday. The future for Steel Cage Wrestling, it's looking good. It's looking very good, and obviously there's a lot more talent wanting to come into the stream. We've already at a situation where I'm sure Joe probably is in the same situation, to be honest, where we cannot put people in the card, and there are people who haven't had a fight for 2 weeks, and it's become an issue. So, possibly it's not really looking for that third show, but we're potentially looking for something a little bit more unique in the future. But we'll be, keeping that under wraps for sure for now But what I will say is King of the Ring, that's going to be going on for the next 4 weeks. Obviously, we'll be mixing it next week due to Unmistaken. But we will have Queen of the Ring on Sunday next week. And then, we'll be moving on to round 2, which will go on all the way until the week before Catch the Case.
Yeah, well,
8 men in a
I
ring.
should say.
I'll have 8 men from Havoc and 8 men from Mayhem in a ring for Catch the Case, trying to go for the Havoc and the Mayhem championships. And obviously they will, if we do win, just like King of the Ring, you will have 2 championship but they will not be two championship choices of your choice, if that makes sense. Obviously, everyone knows how Money in the Bank works at WWE. It's almost the same here. You get the case, you can cash it in whenever you want, right? If you win King of the Ring, you sort of, you need to book it in the office. You need to book that match. It needs to be prepared, obviously. Catch of the Case is completely different. Come up to me backstage, DM me if you really want to do something. Whenever you want to do it, you will do it. Do you know what I mean? So two events that have the same sort of outcome, you could say. But it gives a lot of people that opportunity to have different outcomes. And the winner is the King of the Ring will not be Catch of the Case. But yeah, for me, I mean, that's my side of it. I mean, Ghoul probably has ambitions, and I'd like to hear his side as well, for sure.
Yeah, well, obviously, Capture the Case, they won it. Well, it's up for them to get the championship, isn't it?
Yeah,
they want to cash in. They cash in. I'm not going to stop them, am I?
Yeah, no, that's it.
Of course, Capture the Case. Looking very excited, but obviously Unmistaken July 2nd. Stay tuned for that. I think that's all the time that we have. So
yeah, we're gonna have to get obviously get ready and head over to King of the Ring Arena for 7 p.m. tonight.
Of course, I want to thank Red Skull, Hardcore Messiah, Ghoul, and Joe Bullingham for coming here. Next week,
fine. Tim, I believe you're not available for it.
Thank you very much. I'll be going.
I don't know what you said there. I think your microphone cut out a little bit. Could you repeat that?
I said you're not available for comms tonight, Tim. I believe you're not.
Unfortunately, I am not. I'm a little bit busy.
Well, Go obviously. Hopefully, you'll be there.
I will definitely be there.
100%. I do. I'm not sure if Flair's going to be joining us. Hopefully, he will be. We'll see. But yeah, nice one for this, guys. It's been nice. And yeah, we'll obviously see you at King of the Ring at 7 p.m. UK time.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, awesome. Over to you, Tim. Cheers.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Tim Talks. Next week, if you want to be a part of Tim Talks, message me, and we'll see about trying to get you on. I'm going to try and get at least 2 people on every week on Saturday. And yeah, that's about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, Red Skull, Hardcore Messiah, and I suppose SCW. Stay tuned.